Thanks for tuning into the 6-3 podcast. I'm your host, Joel, my co-hosts, Ben and Isaiah. Welcome back, and I'm hoping it worked out perfectly that we fit in 50 episodes this year. I think this is episode 50. So our last episode of the year of 2020, which we made it, guys. We made it through 2020.
Is this what it feels like to make it?
Legends.
Life on top.
Legends are born.
It feels like.
So, yeah, hopefully 50 episodes here in the year 2020, and then hopefully a lot more good content, again, continuing forward in 2021. This week, we're going to touch up on, like, the final week 17 playoff implications, draft spot implications for most Lions fans out there. That's obviously very important. Then we'll talk about the college football playoff and the Rose and Sugar Bowl and then the championship game. And then Big Ten basketball. And then I got my stats in the pick six. So we'll kick it off here with some stats of the week. First one is going to be a shout out to Romeo Okwara because he's actually been a nice surprise for how bad the Lions defense has been.
Yeah.
He is in the top 5 among NFL defensive ends in a ton of stats, actually. Third down strip sacks. He's first in the NFL. He's also first in third down forced fumbles. He's also first in games with a tackle for a loss. He's second in games with a sack. He's second in strip sacks and second in third down sacks. And then he goes to fourth in sack yards and total sacks. So Romeo Okwara, there's pretty much nobody out of Notre Dame. That was like just a last-second bring-on from the Giants 2 years ago for the Lions, and he's come up and put up great numbers this year. Obviously, now he's up for a contract. I think the Lions are going to pay him, but I don't think they should pay Kenny Golladay, and we can talk more about that in another episode. But I'm hoping Romeo Okwara comes back. I think he's proven something here.
Well, I think he's proven something and is still kind of under the radar, so I don't think they're going to have to pay him absurd amounts of money. I think they can keep him on for relatively cheap and I think he's valuable. He's certainly valuable. Way more valuable than I think any of us thought he would be at the end of the season. But
after last year, he put up a dud after putting up like 8 sacks the year before. So he bounced back, but maybe it's the sibling rivalry with Julian getting drafted in the 3rd round. Obviously, Julian's been an IR and a healthy scratch for much of the year, unfortunately. But, hopefully there's that little bit of brother juice given or something.
I mean, I think we did talk about that when they either right after they drafted or when we were thinking they would draft him, like that them just being together, like when you have a buddy or you have obviously a brother, in the locker rooms and everything, like he's and around the facility, like you're gonna just be a little more motivated. You're just gonna like have someone to work out with that's easily accessible whenever you want to, and someone to talk about your stats with and have a big like cheerleader for. So I think we did talk about that happening or wanting that to happen, and it looks like it did.
Yep. Stephon Diggs, he's going to enter week 17 leading the NFL in both catches and receiving yards. No veteran wide receiver since 1970 merger has led the NFL in receiving yards or receptions in his first season with a new team.
Wow. I mean, it makes sense though. I mean, he's making Josh Allen look really good, and Josh Allen's also making him look really good right now. So, Bill's super revamped offense. It's been fun to watch.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm upset that I'm not doing fantasy this year because, like, I have a couple. I think I've talked about it before. Like, I have a couple people who are like my guys. Like I always get every year. Alvin Kamara, Devontae Adams, and Stephon Diggs are 3 guys that I always try to get.
Yeah.
And they're all having incredible years.
I was gonna say that's a fantasy team right there. I don't know if you get those all in the same in the same draft though, to be honest. Like
no, well, so the thing is that I do a 6-team league with my family, so everyone has a team. So
man, so some Michigan names about the draft this year. Aiden Hutchinson is coming back.
That's awesome.
And Quinn Nordine is declaring for the draft.
He's the number 1 kicker.
That surprises me because he could barely hit the broadside of a barn in mini games.
I don't know who else.
But he's got power though.
I know he could kick a 60-yarder if he's given the opportunity.
Right, and I think that's one of the biggest things with the college. Like I think I think NFL like special teams coaches and kicking coaches think like I can teach accuracy, but I can't teach power.
Right. Yeah, you got to have a big leg in the NFL.
Yeah.
If Aaron Rodgers doesn't throw a pick in Week 17 against the Bears, he would be the first quarterback in NFL history with 40-plus pass touchdowns and 5 or fewer INTs in the season.
Wow.
Which brings me to the MVP race. Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen. I think Russell Wilson's walked his way out of that now.
Yeah.
But I think those are the final guys. And pulling up Aaron Rodgers' numbers against Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. Honestly, I think they're all having great seasons, but I think you almost still take Aaron Rodgers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't like Aaron Rodgers, so I wish he wasn't the front runner. But I don't know, unless Patrick Mahomes like does something crazy, and I don't even know if he's playing this week.
I don't think he's gonna play. There's talks that Chet Henne's gonna suit up.
Yeah.
I think it'll be a tight race. Like there's definitely cases for both. But I almost think that Aaron Rodgers is probably your front runner right now.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah. Let me see here. The most pass touchdowns in the first 4 seasons. Looks like Patrick Mahomes has made his way to second with 124 in 46 games.
That's a lot.
So the only one higher than him is Dan Marino with 142, but he also played in 13 more games.
Right. So it's basically another full season, not quite.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he's going to pass that, you would think.
For sure.
Well, that's probably because he didn't play his rookie year at all, basically.
No.
And
He played a
got
little
hurt
bit of fill-in.
3 games after they played the Lions.
Right.
Yeah. I think he played a little bit of fill-in his rookie year.
At the end of the year, he played quite a decent amount.
Yeah. Didn't Alex Smith get hurt?
Yep.
Yeah. So Alex Smith got hurt, and that's when they were like, "Oh, Patrick Mahomes."
Yep. There are 3 wide receivers with 100-plus catches and 17-plus touchdowns in a season. Davante Adams joined former Vikings Chris Carter and Randy Moss.
Yeah. Pretty good company there.
That's really good company. Yes. Let's see here. Shout out to Taylor Decker. He did not miss a single offensive snap in 2020.
Wow.
Right.
It's hard to do.
Yeah. Obviously, the season's not over, but he won't play another game in 2020.
Right. Good point.
It'll be to 2021.
There you go.
The last time the Patriots lost twice to a divisional opponent in the regular season was the year 2000, where both the Dolphins and the Jets swept the Patriots. So, according to Elias Sports, their 19-season streak without being swept by a divisional opponent is by far the longest since the 1970 merger. The next longest was 11 straight. So 8 more seasons.
Wow.
Jeez.
Didn't they win the Super Bowl the next year, though, I'm pretty sure, after that 2000 year.
2002, I think, right? So 2000 was the year that.
2002.
Okay. I don't know.
I don't remember. It's one of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they just – I don't know how they're not just – Jared Stidham must be, like, really messed up if they're just not even giving him a chance. Like, Cam Newton will continue to do and has done nothing for you.
Cam Newton was promising the first 4 weeks. Let's go there.
Yeah, I know, but like I'm saying towards the end of the season, like since the halfway point.
They benched Newton for Stidham probably 3-4 times this season, and Stidham's just been terrible.
Yeah, I know, but like you have more promise and opportunity with a younger guy who doesn't have his injury history.
At this point, though, I think they know they're not. Neither of these guys are now the future, so they're just going to stick with the guy they paid the most money to.
The Patriots did win the Super Bowl in the 2001 season. They beat the Rams that year.
2001. That was when Brady was the youngest quarterback to win it, right?
Yep. He was the MVP that year, Super Bowl MVP.
The Broncos rookie wide receiver Jerry Jeudy had a rough day. Career high 15 targets, but a whopping 5 drops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is not ideal. Davante Adams became just the 7th player in NFL history to have 17-plus receiving touchdowns and 1,300-plus receiving yards in the same season. He's also 1 receiving touchdown shy now of tying the Packers franchise record set in '94 by Sterling Sharp.
Wow.
Mm.
If
And
they,
I think what Devontae Adams missed 2.5 games this year too, didn't he?
I'm pretty sure he wasn't.
Yeah, he missed it.
He's having. I mean, that's a historical year. No one's really talking about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No, I would. He should be getting some Offensive Player of the Year buzz.
Yep.
Marvin Jones. I know there was a stat that was leaked last week that he has never fumbled the ball ever in his college and NFL career.
Okay, that's
Pretty
pretty good. I mean, he's not a running back, but still, that he has the ball a lot, so that's really hard to do.
Yeah, and now he is a touchdown short from tying Johnny Morton with 35 and two others for the third most in franchise history. Calvin Johnson and Herman Moore lead the way. So putting Marvin Jones behind just those two in Lions history, that's better. One of the better wide receivers in Lions history for sure.
I would agree. Yep.
But he's kind of under the radar because he's always been like a number 2, borderline 1.
Right.
And then my final, I'll do this scoreagami 26-25 win by Miami over the Vegas Raiders. That's the 1064th unique final score.
How many? I can't say you
It's been
can't.
a lot this year, like 10.
I feel like there's been like
Yeah, there's a
4.
good chunk. I think it's like 9 or 10 actually this year.
I think the last time we talked about it, there had been 8 when it
Yeah.
happened to the Lions on Thanksgiving, but I don't know since then.
Okay.
Well, yeah, maybe 9. And then my final one here is about Jamal Agnew, who obviously was the only bright spot to that terrible game that I watched at Ben's house.
Yeah.
Right there where Ben's actually sitting is where I was watching that pitiful game.
Yes.
So, yeah, he has now 5 overall return touchdowns since entering the NFL in 2017. And that's actually the most in the league over that span.
I'm sure it is.
His 4 punt return touchdowns now tie for second most in team history. And he is the second player in team history to have 4 punt return touchdowns and 1 kickoff return touchdown.
Huh. Well, I mean, it's kind of that doesn't surprise me as far as he has the most in that time period, just because return guys kind of come and go. I mean, there's a couple mainstay guys like Cordell Patterson and guys like that, but like, I mean, there's not. Some teams rotate those guys every week, you know. So that doesn't surprise me. He's been pretty much a mainstay. Just because
Most guys don't do both too.
Right.
Like you have Tyreek Hill, who's been doing it for years for the Chiefs, but he only does punt return.
Right.
You'll never catch him on a kick.
And yeah, just with the way the league is now, kickers are almost purposely kicking it to the back of the end zone to avoid any returns at all, or kicks by punters. Like they're happening a lot. I just see now here in my liked corner, I got a really good one. Touchdown passes thrown in the state of Michigan this season by Michigan quarterbacks. Tom Brady 3, Cade McNamara 1. All the others 0.
Not good. Not good.
Yeah, that's rough.
Like it a lot.
I like it.